pane throughout the webinar. We have a lot of great content for you today, so if we don't get to your question, we'll be sure to follow up with you over email after the session. We also encourage you to tweet throughout the session using the hashtag Glassdoor. And now I'd like to introduce our presenter for today's webinar. Kelly McGuire-Payne is the Director of Client Services at Glassdoor. In this role, Kelly helps shape Glassdoor's employer products and strategies to best deliver results for our clients. The Client Services Department works closely with our sales and account management divisions to provide clients with all levels of service and support, from implementation and setup to evaluating successes and ROI. Kelly frequently speaks as an industry expert on recruitment advertising, employer branding, job seeker behaviors, and customer relationship management. And now I'd like to hand it over to Kelly to go ahead and get started.
Thank you, Alicia. And hi, everybody, and thanks for joining today. I'm going to start with just giving you a little overview of our agenda. I'm going to talk a little bit about why we've decided to start doing these and the benefits of being engaged as a client partnering with Glassdoor. Then we're going to jump right into our live demo and open it up for Q&A and hopefully answer some of your questions about the things that you experienced when looking in your own employer center with Glassdoor. So why are we hosting this live training? We really want our clients to see as much value and benefit from our partnership as possible. We feel this begins with a level of interest and engagement in the benefits our employer center system has to offer. At Glassdoor, our goal is to develop a fully robust training series that can serve as a reference material for current and future clients to understand the benefits of working with Glassdoor, our products, and our systems and services. This starts today with our first live client training session. And during this session, we will be covering the basics of an employer center walkthrough and provide a live platform to you to be able to ask your questions. As many of you hopefully know, each individual client that works with Glassdoor receives a dedicated client success manager and an account manager post-sale that serve as primary points of contact and relationship management experts that will work and support you on a day-to-day basis for any and all questions and needs you may have. While these professionals are always available to you and help you with anything you may need, our self-service tools that we're going to walk through today will be accessible to you all time so that you can make as frequent changes and look at reporting as you see fit. So why is engagement important? Simply put, Glassdoor's clients that are most engaged and use the Employer Center and log in and look at metrics and reporting ultimately see better value in the partnership and results as a whole. Glassdoor provides our clients with robust reporting capabilities that really outshine many of our competitors and vendors that you also work with. And the best part is, we really truly believe in transparency in our data and offer these reporting features for free to our clients. Today, we'll look at both the recruiting and employer branding aspects of our systems to ensure you leave feeling confident in your own knowledge of the products and solutions we offer. So before we jump right into the live demo and look at some of the things that we're going to be showing you today, such as monitoring your brand and reputation, analyzing candidate activity, and measuring return on investment, I'm going to launch a live poll now to see how many of you that are on the line have logged into the Employer Center within the last 60 days. So that should pop up on your screen momentarily. And I'm going to give it a few seconds so that people that are on the line and just joining can have also a moment to answer. Okay, wonderful. And I'm going to close the poll. So the great news is that the majority of you have logged in here, which is wonderful to hear. So now let's walk through and just make sure that everybody knows the benefits of the Employer Center. And I'm going to click to a live demo. So you'll see here I'm being prompted to sign in just as if I was a client like yourself. I'm going to type in my information here. I'm going to manually type in my password and click sign in. Now for the purpose of this exercise, I have decided to walk through Glassdoor's Employer Center rather than a specific client so that you can fully see the transparency of the fact that I'm walking through our own system and ask any questions you may have. So you see here that I just logged in and I got taken to the main landing page. I'm going to scroll down on my screen as if I was a client and click Partner. And here I'm prompted right into the Glassdoor Employer Center. You can see here that it has the Employer Center name and I'm within Glassdoor's system. If you were logged in with your own system, it would be your company name and your company's information that would populate here. So for purpose of this exercise and this training, I'm going to start at the campaign summary screen. So what I'm looking at right now is a monthly snapshot of the performance of Glassdoor's job ads campaigns. Our job ads campaigns is our recruitment platform, and what that does is it provides us an outlet for you as a client to see on a daily basis how your jobs are performing. I'm going to highlight quickly here some of the columns as well, and then I'll start looking for some questions throughout the process. Okay, so as you can see, the monthly snapshot here is for May. You can change the snapshot to as long of a period or as short of a period as you'd like. So for the purpose of this exercise, I'm just going to look at April and May, just so that you can see that you can change things or leave them within the current month. The campaign name here is simply just that, the internal identification that the client success team labels these jobs so that we know how they're segmented and managed. The clicks column is simply the number of times a job seeker within that specific month has clicked on one of your positions within a campaign. The impressions column is the number of times that your job has shown up on Glassdoor in any given time frame based on the job seeker searches. And the click-through rate is the ratio of those two metrics. So how often a job seeker clicks on a position compared to how often that position is surfaced in a search result on Glassdoor. The cost and CPC columns here are really where Glassdoor comes in as your client success team. The client success team is in your account every day, making sure that we're assessing the traffic and keeping your price points competitive so that you receive a great amount of visibility with your job. Regarding pricing, our goal in service is to always ensure that your jobs have a great placement on Glassdoor while doing the best we can to deliver within the confines of your budget and drive as many qualified candidates to your job. I'm getting a question now about why there are some metrics in some of these columns and some metrics are not there, and that's a great question. These columns will be populated with information only if you as a client have implemented our applicant tracking pixel. I'm going to talk a little bit about what that means shortly. But basically it is a way for us to collect total quantity headcount of the number of applications we're sending to your job. The budget and status columns are also just letting the internal teams that manage your campaigns know where your jobs are sitting in the course of any given month. I also have another question. Who sets up the campaign name, us as the customer and client, or Glassdoor? It's a great question. The campaign names that we set up are internal names and play no part in the way that the jobs are surfaced within Glassdoor search results for job seekers. So the internal names that we list here are for our own knowledge. If you have any specifics when working with your client success team, just so that when you come in here and look, you understand what you're looking at, you can absolutely request specific names to be labeled for your job ads campaign. Another question's popping up, which is great. I love the engagement. Somebody asked, why are there Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 names when they're logging into their own Employer Center? And that's really just the way that we prioritize and label your jobs. Tier 1 generally means that those are your highest priority positions, and the way that we deem highest priority is really just about interacting with you as our partner and identifying which recruitment needs are your highest priority. Our goal is to drive as much visibility to all of your jobs as possible all the time, but we understand that there are different recruiting needs, and we will adjust the campaigns and label them based on priority and drive more competitive pricing and ideally visibility to those higher priority positions. So moving on to daily reports, this is still within the confines of the performance for your job ads or your recruitment budget. What you're looking at here are very similar metrics to what you just looked at in the campaign summary screen. However, they are done in a daily breakdown. So if you're very granular as a client and you want to see the day-to-day snapshot of how your jobs are performing, you want to log in and pop here. You can filter based on the different campaign and see on any given day the visibility and traffic that we drove to those positions. We also have fun graphs here if you're a visual person and want to see visually the peaks and spikes in traffic. We list that here as well. And the reason why we're so focused on these types of trends is because our client success team, the team that works with me, we're in here every day assessing how that traffic fluctuates and adjusting the price point so that we can drive as much traffic to those jobs on the days when we know your company is top of mind for our job seekers, and then we'll potentially conserve the budget a little bit on days when you're not as aggressively searched so that we can continue to drive as much traffic throughout the entire month as possible. The job click activity report is simply that. What are the top job titles clicked on for your position? The great thing about our reporting too is it actually breaks up the types of jobs, the types of clicks you're getting by product. So what you can see here from this visual graph down on the right is that almost 90% of the job clicks that Glassdoor received were from the job ads of the recruitment product. We're going to talk a little bit about the branding product as well, our employer profile, and I'll walk you through that. But what this really does indicate is that if you are a client looking to fill your recruitment funnel and make quality hires, job ads is the right product to partner with Glassdoor. Again, we provide lots of different fun filtering options so that you can see where your jobs are getting the most traction based on the products. You can also search for custom date ranges or months, as well as look at some specifically prompted months that we've also put there for you. You can export anything to Excel so that you can have real-time data for whoever you may want to roll this up to within your organization. Okay. Now I'm going to hover right over to the applicant tracking page. So what this page is this shows all of the information needed to add Glassdoor's applicant tracking pixel. Glassdoor's applicant tracking allows us to track the number of candidates who have applied to your jobs through Glassdoor. And if and when implemented, you can view these metrics within that main campaign summary page. Many of our clients have not implemented the tracking pixel for one major reason, and it's because they're partnering with applicant tracking systems like Taleo Enterprise or iSIMS or Taleo Business Edition if you're a small to medium business client. And those tracking options are more developed and robust, and we would work with you on a monthly basis in our check-in call to have you pull those source reports so that we can get an idea of how things are going on your recruitment front. We always encourage our clients to add this tracking pixel as an additional layer, if for nothing else but for our client success team, so that we can look in here as frequently as we can to make sure that that application number continues to rise. If after this training you have any interest in implementing that and you're unsure of the process, you can reach right out to your client success manager and they'll help walk you through it. And finally, just want to highlight quickly this All Jobs tab here. The All Jobs tab is the section of the campaign management system that allows you to just see which jobs we have on Glassdoor from your applicant tracking system. So at any given time, if you're curious as to whether or not that sales position is still showing up on Glassdoor, you can come in here and search that, and it will show you your results. I have a question here that I'd love to address because it's definitely something that I think will benefit the group. Somebody did ask, if our ATS is Taleo Enterprise, will you as a client be able to add that tracking pixel? And the answer really does depend on the applicant tracking system. For companies using ATSs, you can always proactively ask your applicant tracking system contact to add the Glassdoor applicant tracking pixel. Some ATSs will and some will not. If you have any interest in exploring that further, reach out to your client success team, and they always know which ATSs will and will not add it, so we'd be able to provide you as much guidance as we can. So that's the portion of our recruitment training, and I'm now going to move over into our edit profile training, and what that's going to do is it's going to highlight and show the ways that you can adjust and use our self-service tools to help with your employer branding. But before I do that, I'm going to launch the second poll of the training, and what this poll is it's asking you guys if you've heard about our new product offering, Open Company. So I'm going to launch the poll now and give everybody a few seconds to answer. Okay, wonderful. And now I've closed the poll. Once again, we've got a couple people that definitely know about the Open Company, and we've got a few of you that also don't. So I'm going to touch slightly on that, and then we'll get right into the nitty-gritty of the employer branding product. As a company, Glassdoor really does stand behind transparency. What that means is providing clients with the ability to learn engagement best practices through step-by-step guidance on how to create and maintain a compelling company profile. So you can distinguish your company brand with an exclusive Open Company badge that showcases your commitment to transparency, increases exposure through unique ad placement opportunities, and takes advantage of complimentary homepage and newsletter promotions. We just launched this Open Company program, and we have well over 60 companies that are full, completed 5-step Open Company. We hope to see more companies join this list. You have to simply follow 5 steps that are listed here. And they are to make sure that your profile is current, add company photos, respond to reviews and engage in that conversation with the job seekers and user-generated content that's populating on your employee profile, get your employees engaged, and place a badge on your career site so that everybody that comes to your organization's site knows that you're an Open Company and believe in transparency. To maintain the Open Company status, every 12 months you'll be reminded to complete the 5 steps to ensure your continued engagement as a transparent employer as your company evolves. So now I'm going to jump into the basic info here. So if you were to log into your Employer Center and click on Company Details, this is the area where you as a self-service user can change any of the information here as your company changes, evolves, and grows. One thing to note is every change that's made in here does get routed to our content team, so just so that you know, there's always another set of eyes that are double checking it and making sure that everything is accurate. You can put competitors, titles, etc. So if Robert Homan, who's our CEO, ever changed, here's where we would update it. Moving along to the company description. Again, this is where you can put your mission statement. So Glassdoor's mission statement is to help people everywhere find jobs and companies they love. If your mission statement is something you want to proactively put out on your company profile, this is where you'd add it. And related companies here, if you're a large Fortune 500 organization that owns a bunch of subsidiaries, you can add them here and they will show up as well on your company profile. Once again, all of this information is then rerouted to our content team for another human set of eyes to take a look and make sure that everything looks good. Moving along to photos and awards. One of the main places that job seekers spend time on the employee profile for any company is on the photos page. Whether job seekers really just want to see the accuracy of what that office looks like or what that fun party, your holiday party looks like, company photos are a great way to showcase the day in the life of your organization for that company. And here's where you would add them. Just click Add Photo. Gives you all of the different specs here, so it does highlight what we do and do not accept. You can add many photos at a time. And once again, ever have any questions, reach right out to your client success team and we'll walk you through using the self-service tool. The award section here. Again, if your company received an award, Glassdoor in 2013 won, the Webby Awards, are the best website winner. We wanted to showcase that. We put it up here. Once again, click Add Award, add the information, whether it's a press release or a company link that identifies the award, add it here, and we'll make sure to double check and get it up on that site instantaneously. And then moving along to the enhanced profile. So for any client that's on the line that has purchased the employer profile product and you get to be part of the conversation, tell your story, get your photos up there, get that beautiful cover photo, here's where you want to come to make any changes. So as I mentioned, the cover photo. If you all of a sudden want to switch that up, here's how you do it. You can change the image, crop it up, move it along. It's super simple. If anybody has Facebook and has used the cover photo image on Facebook, that's exactly the same type of platform that you're working in. So if you can do it there, you can do it here. Again, headline, subheading. So if I wanted to write Glassdoor rocks and leave it up, I could save that, it'll publish, and within a short period of time it'll be updated on our employer profile. Just pressing cancel because I'm not sure if marketing would love that, but I love that. And the why work for us section. So here's where a lot of our clients put the most meat into their employee profile. You're allowed up to 5 different tabs with various sections, and you can customize them based on the types of message and mission you want to portray to job seekers coming to your profile. You can see here that Glassdoor has 5. We have At a Glance, which just really shows, our value, our mission, all of us in our matching Glassdoor sweatshirts, and just anything that you want to land on that main page. We have Values and Culture, which here just talks a little bit about the things that we value as a company. One thing you may notice is, why is there a gray box here? It's a great question. If at any time you ever want to add a video within any of these tabs and you do so, that's what this box will show. It'll show a gray box. That does not mean the video doesn't work. That's just the way that the system adopts the addition of the video. Again, any questions, just direct them to your client services team and we'll walk you through any of this. The social media side here. If you have a Twitter page, a corporate Facebook page, LinkedIn, etc., and you want to add them, you add them right here. A company blog, news, etc. It all provides the ability for you to get as much information on that employee profile as you want and direct your job seekers to all of the different avenues that promote your brand and reputation. And finally here is our videos page. So whether your company has a specific YouTube channel or a couple of videos that you just want to show up on your employee profile, this is where you'd add them. Another wonderful thing is we give you the option to pick and choose where those videos show up. And at any time, if you ever have any questions, you can always click this Get Help button, and it'll walk you through some of the basic troubleshooting issues, or you can reach out to your client success rep. Okay, so we've covered the 2 core products, our jobs product, which is our recruitment tool, our employer profile, which is the branding tool, and now we're going to dive a little bit into the reporting that we provide, which I'm sure many of you are interested in hearing about. So what we're looking at right now is the awareness tab. So there's 4 main reporting functionalities currently in the Employer Center. This awareness tab is just that, showing you the types of page views and traffic you're getting to your employee profile. Once again, you can look at changes over time. You can do custom date ranges. If you know that your company had a big announcement in Q4 and you want to see how that changed the page views, you can search that here. And some of my favorite aspects of our reporting is these demographics and interests. So if you're an organization that's really looking to target females in the IT space, and you come here and see that the demographic for your brand is more populated to males, then you want to contact your team here at Glassdoor to talk about things that we can do like diversity and display banner campaigns to target the right people and drive them to that employee profile. One of my favorite aspects here is you can also compare yourself to other companies. So for the sake of this, let's put in simply hired and LinkedIn. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click compare. And what that does is it automatically populates the same types of education, experience, and gender for the desired competitors that I put in. So you can see here that Glassdoor is pretty in line with some of the other players in the recruitment advertising space, and that allows us to potentially change or tailor things in our branding and reputation approach or in our recruiting and display approach. You can change these out as fluidly as you'd like, so as your competition or as the companies you're looking to target potentially change, make sure that you come in here and utilize this so that you're on the same playing field as those other companies. Top companies, top job titles, and top locations. So what this indicates is the behavior of the job seekers on Glassdoor and where they're also going in terms of other companies they're looking at, and the top job titles and locations that job seekers are clicking on based on the jobs that we have for Glassdoor. So what you can see here is most of the job seekers that come to Glassdoor and kind of check out our jobs and profile are from the San Francisco, Sausalito area. That makes sense because that's where our headquarters are, and some of these other areas are, also big tech hubs. So we look at that on a day-to-day basis. Moving along to the employer branding. What this is just a high-level synopsis of the total content collected for your employee profile. So you can see here that we can again look at how that content is compiled over time. See how much content's on our profile, companies and CEO average rating. So you can see here that Robert Homan is our CEO. His rating is slowly trending up over time. This is something that many CEOs that are with our, of our clients are very interested in because they are really interested in what that trend looks like over time. And here's where you can find that information. CEO approval rating is also here as well. And moving along to the reputation tab, and I love showing this because it is such a fun kind of eye catcher when you're popping in and looking at this. What this does is it represents employee reviews, both pro and con. So what we do is we go through your employee profile, take a look at those reviews, and pull the most frequented pros and the most frequented cons and populate them here. One of our clients actually told us that they got the pros printed out on a t-shirt and gave them to all of their employees. And everybody got to wear them one day at work, and it was a great team building and reputation booster. And here, once again, transparency, making sure that we are showing you, how you're being compared to listed competitors. So you can see here that Glassdoor's competitors for this exercise are Indeed, LinkedIn, and Monster, and it shows how we're faring compared to those people on all of these specific company ratings. So I have a question here about what if you don't have a word cloud? So In order to get a word cloud, you need a specific number of reviews, and the total review count is 50. For companies that are smaller, that potentially don't have that many employees or don't have that many reviews, I would encourage to go out and do some internal employee engagement campaigns to generate more reviews for your organization. One of the things that we love to hear from our clients is just what you want to see more of. So if there are a lot of small companies that are on this, this training here that really would love to see that word cloud, but they don't have 50 employees, let us know that, and we'll work closely with our product team to see if that's a potential option down the line. And the final reporting here is our candidate activity. And what this shows is just, in the last couple months, job seekers that come to our profile, what are they clicking on? And are we losing them to anybody else? So you can see here that a lot of the job seekers on Glassdoor are finding the engagement in our content on our profile and clicking through to look at these positions. And once again, you can search by your jobs, you can search by competitor jobs to see, are we losing any candidates to some other companies locally? And before I go into the final kind of questions and polls, I just want to cover a little bit of some homework stuff. So this settings tab is really just some admin kind of back-end stuff that I just want to make sure everybody understands and that everybody feels comfortable doing. Again here, if you have an employer account, and I'm sure most of you do, and if you don't, you definitely want to reach out to your client services rep so that you can get that set up and access this immediately. But here's where you would change any of your login credentials. For email preferences, one of the wonderful things that we have recently released is the ability to notify you as a client how frequently things are added or changed to your employee profile. So you can sign up and get weekly, daily, or as it happen alerts anytime that content is added to your company page. So if you as an organization are very concerned with job seekers adding salary information, you can come in here and click as it happens, and anytime there's any content added, and specifically if it's added to that salary page, it'll get sent to you in an email alert so that it prompts you to then continue to re-engage with our Employer Center. Once again, monthly profile stats and Glassdoor news, everybody's defaulted to yes because we proactively think a lot of this content is very beneficial for our clients. But if you're a specific user that is very engaged with the Employer Center and you may not need it, you can always come in here and change that. And manage users. So there's many people within a company that has access to the Employer Center. If you would like to change those, you can do that here. So I'm going to go back to that main jobs page and start asking a few questions, answering a few questions that are coming up in the box. Okay, I always have trouble finding where to add more sections in the Why Work For Us area. Can you show me? Of course I can. So you're going to click back into that Edit Profile page. Give it a moment to load here. And we're going to go down to that Enhanced Profile. So if you are a client partnering with us and you've purchased the Employer Profile, this is where all of those additional features will show up. You want to click in here into the Why Work For Us section. And there's an option here to add a new tab. So if this was your account, you would click this here and you would add, vacation time, let's just say. And then you click OK, and it would create another section here for you where then you can come in and add content, add videos, add photos, etc. This interface for everybody on the phone is very similar to a WordPress blog. So if you've ever had any familiarity with that, you should feel comfortable here. And once again, and I know I keep saying this, but I do just want to reiterate, you have a dedicated account team here that's here to help you do this stuff. The client services and account managers that partner with you and work on this partnership have a lot of things that are on their plate as well. So we will definitely take these requests and be able to change them, but our turnaround time may be a day or two given your CSM's workload. So I definitely encourage that if you need something real-time changed quickly, pop in here and see if you can figure it out on your own. So I have a question here about the information that's gathered in the Insights reporting, whether this is from the employer profile product or whether it's from the jobs product, and that's a great question. Most of the information in this Insights tab, specifically all of this information here, are demographics that we pull from the behaviors of job seekers on your employer profile. Where you find a lot of the concrete job reporting is within this job tab, and specifically this job click activity report. To reiterate, a lot of times our clients have these wonderful ATSs or applicant tracking systems that they partner with, and a lot of the recruitment reporting is done within that applicant tracking system. So when you and your account team here at Glassdoor get on your check-in calls every month or every 6 weeks or every 2 weeks, depending on how frequently you want to speak to us and become engaged with us as partners, we'll ask you to provide us any insight from that source reporting. For many of you that are on the line that may not be familiar with how to pull that reporting within your applicant tracking system, don't fret. Our client success managers are experts in this field, and we have some dedicated ATS experts that work with us as well that will help you in any way we can to make sure to get that data for you. All right. So now I'm going to open it to any additional questions. So anybody on the line, if they have anything else they'd like to ask, now is the time. Okay. So before we wrap up today, I'm going to launch my final poll. And what that poll is really just feedback for me on how you felt this training went, if you've learned more things, if it's beneficial for you. Once again, I will definitely make sure to send this recording to everybody that attended today. But let me launch this poll before people start popping off here. Poll is launched. Giving it a few more seconds so the remainder of the group can vote. And thank you, everybody, for participating and voting. Okay, and the poll is closed. So that really does conclude our first ever live client training series. I hope everybody felt that this was very beneficial and a learning experience. Once again, if you have any follow-up questions for me or your dedicated account team, feel free to reach out to your contacts here at Glassdoor, and I'll make sure to sync up with them as well. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and thanks again. Bye-bye.